Are we live?
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid automatically right off the bat from the compound where I was a guest for a good 45 minutes actually this evening. So thank you so much for the raid, everybody. Welcome in. So many people to say hi to. We have, well, the compound, Skunk9, Bearded Fortress, thank you so much for the resub. 4 months. Can you believe we have had a Bearded Fortress watching us for the past 4 months? That
Nope,
is...
I cannot believe it.
It makes
that
me feel
is
safe.
safe.
It makes me safe and fortified, and you can just really just curl
And
up.
tickled, like a little tickle.
Yeah. So soft, yet bristle.
Stephen Moonstar, welcome in. We have Savriana, which is a new name, and thank you for the follow. Morel 3D Prince, I said Skunk9, I'll say it again. Hello.
Cheese cat.
Farmer Ma, hey Ma.
Every time you say Skunk9, I don't know if you guys have got the reference. There's a rap artist named Tech9. Every time he says his name in a song, it always ends up being Tech9. So that's every time you say Skunk9, I just Skunk9.
Run away! Lord Nikto, holy shit! Thank you so much for the raid.
Oh, again, 2 raids.
Hey!
We haven't even been on the air 5 minutes.
Welcome in, everyone.
So
I'm just still saying hi to everyone. So, M. Nasuti, welcome in. Almost Critical, nice to see you. I have to make your intro thingy. Let's see, we've got...
Raiders, don't go anywhere, because we probably have a thing that you can join in later for free. So don't leave.
Yes, don't leave us. We've got a giveaway. Cheese Cat, hello, welcome in. BRM 869, thank you for that follow. Enigma, hi. Lord Nikto, thank you so much. Everyone who's out there who just raided, be sure to jump over and follow the compound, because we are getting closer and closer to a live stream date over at the compound. Hey, Lord Nikto. Wow. Hey, Das. Nice to see you, Kel. And who else do we have here? Goldilocks. Hello, Goldilocks. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to start off, actually. I'll just start with the giveaway because since you're all here,
we've got your attention.
We've got your attention, so I'm going to grab you with it.
Pull up a chair, get comfortable.
We want to say thank you so much to our returning sponsor, Bia D&D. Extra ticket. What? I need to write this down. So we do multiple giveaways, but the one that I'm going to talk about at the moment, so that you all who are out there can get in on it, is from our friends at Bia D&D. You're going to see right underneath me right now that they are a D&D homebrew creator of all kinds of items, beautiful artwork, all of the and their merch as well. They allow us to give away a t-shirt, long sleeve or short sleeve, any design that you would like from their website. So I'm going to do that right now so that you can go check it out. The winner gets to choose any design that they would like, and just let me know, the size and your address, obviously, to get it to you. I'm going to open up the giveaway. The way that we work this is you just type hashtag BEADND to be entered into the giveaway. We do the drawing for it halfway through the stream. So probably about 10:30-ish p.m. Eastern time. And whoever wins, you get to get some free merch from Bia D&D. You should definitely go check it out. They've got really cute stuff like a rabbit corn. They have a piano mimic, and a cosmic cat is a new one.
A galaxy cat, right?
I haven't seen that one.
It's cute. And yeah, I definitely recommend getting in on this. I will try to make sure to remind you as you are watching us. For those who are new and those who are returning, just as a reminder, we also do a monthly giveaway. And this month's giveaway is a beautiful spring fog set created by our friends at Almost Critical. It comes in this wonderful tin here, and I have it physically here so that you can see it, sort of, on my little webcam. But beautiful spring fog set created by Almost Critical for us, special. And the winner gets the tin. You get to enter into this using your channel points, as well as brawling and battling in the chat, and then doing extra ticket, which you would have seen Cheese Cat do just a few minutes ago. So I gotta write that down just to be
There's
sure.
a good picture of those dice on our Instagram. You can't miss it. A couple of rows down, it says Maze giveaway, and you get a really good high quality look at those dice.
And there'll be a better picture down.
Absolutely beautiful.
They are amazing. You can enter as many times as you want, and at the beginning of next month, we will be drawing live on stream using a rollable table that is built into Foundry, which I'm pointing at, but you cannot see because I have a different view up. But we use Foundry for our virtual tabletop, and yeah, you don't have to be present to win. You just enter as many times as you want. The more times you enter, the better your chances. So let's see. We also have, I'll start with the announcements here for the compound. I did already spam it, but I'm going to spam it again. The compound. We are part of the Compound Network. We are going to be shifting over to live streaming our main campaign on Sundays coming up in July. So you're going to want to go over, follow the Compound, make sure that you don't miss our go live dates. The Compound also streams multiple days per week. They were just streaming just before our stream from 7:30 p.m. Eastern till 9:30, and it's board games and card games. They're just playing Gaslands, which is a tabletop game of like murder and mayhem and cars. And I had no idea what was going on, but there was a lot of competitiveness going on, and some pedestrians being killed, but they were also shooting at the cars. So it was a lot.
So they had it coming.
Yeah, it's like pedestrian seems very tame for the fact that these are people standing in the middle of the road shooting with like machine guns at the cars that are driving towards them. So it was very, very interesting. And yeah, we'll be seeing you more frequently over there. We'll still be streaming over here as well during the week, keeping our virtual games going, but the main campaign will shift over there.
Maybe with the entire actual party.
Hopefully. Yes, right. Hopefully we'll get our 2 players back. Let's see. Normally that shifts us over to the word of the week, which was intense, by the way. We didn't officially choose it.
The word of the week. The word of the week is intense, or your statement was intense.
Both.
Word of the week is intense. So any of our local listeners and or fans and or friends should head on over to one of our 3 affiliated stores that have been so kind to work with us on this. We've got the Armory in Fairhaven, we've got Tabletop Games in Westport, and we've got Twilight Comics in New Bedford. You go there, you go down, you make your purchase, go to the front, the cash register, you'll see a can with our face and name on it. You write down intense, the word of the week, pop it in the little can, and you get entered in to win a $10 gift card. We hope you can go to 1, 2, or all 3. There's no real... It's only 1 entry, I believe, per store, but there's no limit to how many stores you can go to for all 3. We hope you guys go and patron these guys because they've been so awesome to help us out. Again, that's the Armory in Fairhaven, Tabletop Games in Westport, and Twilight Comics in New Bedford. If you guys are interested in supporting us a little bit more directly, I'll throw you over to Pat, and he'll tell you about our Patreon.
Yes. Just before we kick off the Patreon, I just want to give a shout out to our 2 newest patrons. I have My Sound Delve. They are now patrons, as well as Tony Hahn. These are our new patrons, so they get to enjoy some of the behind-the-scenes things that sometimes it's homebrew that some of the other players or Izzy have created. different backstories, and all sorts of early access to our VODs and a bunch of other cool things that we don't always have the camera running that you can see during the live broadcast. Sometimes we let the camera keep recording after we're off the air. So some extra little things like that are thrown up on the Patreon. All sorts of cool stuff. But if you've had enough of listening to us talk, but you want to support us in another way, you can head on over to our merch store. Cuba, why don't you tell them about our merch?
I will, but real quick, back to the Patreon. There is something special that we have that will be revealed soon to, I believe it's $5+ and $10 patron levels.
Yep. That'll be officially announced on Tuesday to the patrons. So, and then we'll follow up.
Just a little tease.
That's a little stinger right there. Just
Yeah.
a little teaser.
Yeah.
Cuba's a little tease, ain't he?
Yeah, it's something physical too.
Yes.
Something you
physical
will have
tease.
in
A
hand.
tangible thing.
Speaking of tangible things, yes, we have a TeePublic shop. That's where you can get wonderful items such as the Brew Bottle Tavern T-shirt, or the almost everybody's wearing it. We got tits and arrows. We got sending a message. Subscribe.
I love the fact that when
it just all went up.
I was gonna say, I love that when Izzy squeezed, the shirt naturally folded and also squotes.
I see. It was all perfectly aligned and planned, so that when you do that in that shirt, it's quadruple the action.
It's a beautiful thing.
But yes, you can find these awesome shirts in our TeePublic, along with probably now my personal favorite, the Uma Orcasm shirt, which I was wrong. It's not our best-selling shirt. The Sending a Message is our best-selling shirt. Still the reigning champion, but the Orcasm.
We gotta have that one break the record. So head over to our TeePublic and get yourself an Orcasm shirt.
But
I'm getting mine soon.
Nothing wrong with a little head and orgasms, okay? I'm just saying.
Do it next Thursday and Friday, because that's when the next sale is. So next Thursday and Friday, you will get 35% off everything in our TeePublic shop. And then if you missed that sale, don't worry, because the following week there's a 5-day sale, the 27th to the 31st. So the end of the month, the last 5 days of the month, there is another sale, 35% off everything. That's when I recommend you pick up your Orcasm shirt.
Or your head shirt. Come on. Let's stay on top.
Are you a lover or are you a fighter? What's it gonna be?
Why not both, you know? Come on, they go hand in hand.
Why not Zoidberg? So, I already went through our giveaways, but just as a reminder to please type #BEADND to enter into tonight's giveaway. I'm saying as I type it out so that I can spam it later as we go. So we have a giveaway tonight from our friends at BEADND. You can go to beadnd.com/shop to check out their the options for if you were to win. And we have our monthly giveaway. I am also doing a charity stream over at Wesselhausen's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are trying to raise money for glisten.org, which is an LGBTQIA+ nonprofit. And we got a huge donation sometime in the past, like 24 hours, of over $200, which put us over our $1,100 goal, which means that during the next stream, we are going to be giving away the almost critical donated D20 capture keychain. So definitely head over Monday night at Wesselhausen's, and it's called Jinkies Candlekeep Mysteries. We are doing all 17 of the Candlekeep Mysteries adventures with characters. I am playing Kivu, who is a life cleric of Selune, and she is a half orc, and she has been growing on me, I'll say, over the past several weeks, because I just kind of threw her together, and then as time goes on, I learn more and more about her, which I think is how D&D typically works. But yes, we are playing all the way through July. You should definitely come check it out. It is sponsored by D&D Beyond. So at the midpoint of each stream, there is a giveaway of a digital copy of the Candlekeep Mysteries as well. And we are just super excited because we found out this morning that there was that huge donation that got us over the goal that had been set. So we'll be setting a new goal, and hopefully you'll be able to join us. What else am I forgetting? Hero Forge. We are Hero Forge affiliates. You will see that we use it, as you can see below, actually, right now, for our character creation. You can see it in some of our intro videos and whatnot. We are big fans of them. They have created color minis, 3D printed minis. And they come out very decent and have only gotten better over the past year. So
Yeah, we were part of
link.
the Kickstarter for that, and I definitely have seen, like, I'm not complaining at all. Like, our painted color minis came out cool, but I've seen more recent ones, and it's like they've refined it more than when we initially got our versions.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
They also do offer painting services, but it's going to be, pretty expensive.
That's
so
crazy.
We have, of course, our friends at the Brush Republic who are painting our minis. And when we go live in the studio, you're going to get to see that beautiful work. And also Morel 3D Prints and Fusion Forge 3D Printing, who are printing out those minis for the Brush Republic to paint. So we are utilizing Hero Forge definitely to create our characters, and then are able to go local with the printing and painting, which is very nice for us.
It's really the best of both worlds, you know?
Yeah. So. Oh, almost critical. Enjoy dinner. All right. So what else? Is there anything else that I'm forgetting?
I think that's it.
We got some new stickers coming in, but we'll be sharing that on our Instagram. So I'll share those when they come in. All right, so we are without Annie tonight, unfortunately. So we're just gonna
last minute drop out.
Yeah, unfortunately, not feeling that great. So we are gonna just continue on with our story. I don't know if I haven't seen Grem in the chat yet, but the Micaiah Serenade. I don't know if it was Grem or if it was Bearded Fortress who redeemed it, but either way, next Saturday when Annie is back, we will do the Serenade.
How much more do we have to add to that to make it so it's an Elar Serenade?
We don't know if Elar is musically inclined.
But we know Annie is, so I would like her to sing like a song, but as Elar.
Like,
damn it, Kel!
Like, purposely
what did you do to Annie?
Bad job on it.
That would be fucking hilarious.
And every once in a while, so I did guest over on Lord Nicto's stream 2 Saturdays, not this past one, not today. Was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago already?
2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, time flies. It was a lot of fun, and I do want to do it again. So it should be coming up at some point in the near future when, we have time to both be home and have Cuba watch the kids.
I don't think you want that duet, Cheese Cat.
No,
what is it?
Not at all.
An Eric Fire song and Micaiah duet.
I've never heard him sing, so.
If it's the correct song and in person, I might actually consider that just for fun, just because I don't mind making an ass out of myself to make other people laugh.
Actually, if that's gonna be
I've
a
lived
duet,
half my life under that rule.
I want it to be Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. That would be awesome.
But how much for it? A lot. It's gonna be all the points. All the
100,000 pretties.
And Izzy can't give you any, so you can't do any of those.
I don't think I can actually. I don't know if there's a way for me to do that. I can do it with the other points, but I don't think I can do it with the channel points.
And there's no way to add points together, right?
You can actually. There's a thing called a channel points challenge where everyone can pool together their channel points to hit a certain threshold in a certain amount of time. So
I shouldn't have fucking said anything.
Oh, they're trying to push your shirt now. So if they keep your shirt, if I'm understanding this, if the sending a message shirt stays on top and doesn't get beat out by the orgasm shirt, then you need to do a serenade.
I'll talk to Annie. I'll talk to Annie. Because it would be hilarious if we did a whole new world, but dressed up. You know what I mean? Just me and her dressed up as characters, sitting on the carpet in the middle of the compound, just singing.
A whole slew world.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we can make something happen. In-person serenades are going to be fantastic. So just saying, I cannot wait. The setup in the compound studio is perfect for stuff like that. Cameras all over, different angles. Like instead of it being this setup where like they see all of our faces, it's like here's Annie or whoever, both of you. You know, stars of the show, and then obviously the audio will be synced up, so that'll be even better.
And if we're all there in person and the two blonde sisters are with us, then they can river dance in the background.
To whatever song it is. Little known fact that Rachel and Lauren grew up doing Irish dancing like professionally. Which is something
I never would have thought, but I think that is like the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, beautiful dresses, like the hair pieces. That was a childhood, I remember.
Well, I think when we were still playing in person in the before times, they were after we took a break from the game, went to eat, and then came back, and they were like they were doing the river dance to like the battle music or something.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we will do our intro, and then we will get started with whatever's gonna happen tonight.
Wild card, bitches. Yeehaw!
All right. We don't remember what he's saying. Cheese cat. So I said maybe he sang in your dreams, and everyone's dreaming of the bums of greenest. Or maybe the NAT30s, just in general. Okay. So, hey, Thorium Dragon. Nice to see you. Can't remember what it was. They'll clip it. They're gonna clip it. Could have been in her dreams though. Okay. So.
It scares me.
Oh, I need to change my music because I was planning on doing a Micaiah flashback to do the serenade. So I have different music that is supposed to be queued up here. Bam. And the sound of the desert where you are.
I don't care what anyone says, man. Necco wafers. I must be an old man, but Necco wafers. I know we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, we know you like chalk.
Yeah.
It's not chalk. It's sort of.
It's
What's
chalk.
the
They all
difference?
taste the same. It's just different.
You can't write
I was gonna say the only difference is that's chalk that doesn't work.
Right, it's
and you're
defective
eating
chalk.
So,
What are those?
Graham, you don't want to know. When we last
it's
left,
literally chalk that doesn't work, and he eats it.
and then you eat it.
The Valentine's Day sweethearts that are like the pure sugar ones that come in that little box. That's what they are, basically.
Yeah, the youngest one here is talking about how old he is. All right, so when we last left the Bums of Greenest, you were approximately 30 miles or so deep into the dry and cruel Badlands known as... Hold on, you guys can't see my screen so I can look at you all when I'm talking. The Serpent Hills. Despite it being the 23rd of deep winter, these hills are very warm and full of cracked canyons and flat-topped mesas in a variety of colors. Birds of prey or scavenge can be seen in the distance, and small animals dart from pockets of shade as you follow the trail of the white worm speaker Varum and his traveling companions. You had been informed that Varum had lost the white dragon mask, believed to be very important part of the summoning of Tiamat out of her prison in the Nine Hells. The ultimate goal of the Cult of the Dragon, or the Queen's Consort, as they are trying to rebrand themselves. Your second day within the canyons brought you to a near encounter with a small band of hill giants feasting on the remains of some large creature. A little ingenuity and a lot of teamwork resulted in you successfully distracting the giants with Gildan, Erdnot's celestial steed, while you dashed to safety out of range of their vision with the aid of Micaiah's Pass Without a Trace spell. So we rejoin you as you are congratulating yourselves with some fist bumps, the motion causing a small piece of rolled up parchment to fall from Micaiah's pack onto the ground. Before Micaiah can dismount from Boris to get it herself, Zan hopped off of Hera from behind Arik and picked it up. You can see the expression on Micaiah's face shift as Zan, you are holding up this little piece of rolled up parchment to her. Everybody roll an insight check for me. First roll of the night.
Including Zan?
Yeah.
Ooh, 3. Oh, I don't know if your rolls are public or private from the last game.
It's a 17 for Ark.
That's a 4 for Zan.
Oh, all right.
Rolled at 1.
Oh.
Does
So
Ark actually get to see something that nobody else does for once?
yes.
Yeah.
So everybody, you know, Zan, obviously you're looking at Micaiah as you're handing her this thing, and so you can see that her her facial expression changes, that she reaches down and just goes, "Thank you, Zan." She takes it. But Arik, you are able to, I would say you are able to recognize the look on her face as, kind of as like one soldier to another type of thing. The look of someone who is really good at hiding their less comfortable emotions, but in this instance, like it's showing in her eyes that whatever this is has a certain pull and a weight to it that you gather she doesn't want to talk about it at the moment. The way that she grabs the paper, like not rudely but quickly taking it out of Zan's hand and stuffing it away where, she's not carefully putting it somewhere. It's almost like nothing to see here kind of actions.
So something valuable to her, but she doesn't want anybody else to see.
Right.
Gotcha.
The other two, you can see that she kind of looked a little uncomfortable, but it could be, that she's just uncomfortable on top of Boris, shifting around. I see her shift her weight a little bit as she's doing this. But
I only was able to notice that because I know Makai's facial expressions so
right.
well. Even in her wolf form. We're like this. We're like this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Arik will notice that, but obviously he'll file that away for later when Annie comes back, because I don't want to, you know what I mean?
When Annie is here to play her character.
Exactly, yeah, it just feels important, so I'll wait. But Arik does obviously notice that, and he just kind of files it away and gives her, like, if she sees him looking at, like, I'll just give her a nod. Like a soldiery nod. Like just curt.
Soldiery nod.
Soldiery nod. I'm gonna roll to see if she notices that you have seen her look. So let me make a roll.
Gotcha.
That's a 20. So yeah, Micaiah makes eye contact with you and does a little nod back, but looks away as, you guys are, you do your little, like, good job. Kind of
Did you just roll? Was it a nat 20?
No, 18 plus 2, so 20.
I was gonna say, holy
generated.
Shit, first nat 20 already.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So you all are out of range of the where the hill giants were. You feel pretty confident that, like, you would be able to hear them if they were coming your way. And Erdnot, Gildan, you said you summoned him back to you.
Yeah, I dispersed him when he reached the mile, and then I've used my 1 second level spell slot to summon him back to us.
Hey, Ballad of Oso, thank you for joining us. So as this is all happening, Gildan, the large boar that Erdnot rides as his celestial steed, poof, in that puff of smoke, of dust and smoke, sending a little bit of sand, kind of like scattering a little
dust.
Should have just called him Claude, like dirt Claude.
And Boris looks over at Gildan and is like, "Hey, Gildan, good to see you. Great job, real great job."
It just does an acknowledging snort.
So I actually forget what color was Boris. He was he's turquoise.
He's
still
super
turquoise.
Chill, right?
She hasn't dismissed him since summoning him in that turquoise, and he's just very serene and, like, calm.
See, I don't like that, only because if we did get caught and get beaten by the giants and got eaten, he just would have stood up to the side and be like, "Man, that just sucks, but it's just so nice today, guys."
One ass.
Sorry,
sucks to be you. See you on the other side, guys. So, anything you all wanted to do or not, you dismount from Zan's horse, Trace, and hop on over to Gildan.
It's what time of day is it?
I'm gonna say that it's probably like 2 p.m.-ish, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, you've been traveling for a while when you came across this.
And we feel we're relatively safe out of the reach of the...
Yeah, you didn't stop to fist bump each other until you were pretty confident that you were...
We only bumped.
It wasn't premature. Yeah.
Premature bumping.
Right.
And so we're essentially in, like, a desert. Like, do we need to, like, like game mechanics wise, can we just continue on, or do we need to rest from the heat or drink extra water or something?
It's not, so it's warm, but it's not like overbearing. You get the impression, because it is technically deep winter, like it's warm, it's even hot, but it's not summer hot, like summer in the desert hot.
Okay, so it's arid, but not like Sahara Desert arid.
Right. Not right now. It's still warm, but you're okay for now.
Or not, just turns to everybody. Shall we continue forward? Or do you require rest?
Zenda hops off of Arik's horse and
When he
gets
walks
on
by,
his-
Arik will just put his hand out for another bump, like a forearm, you know?
and is gonna return in favor. And when he gets back on, I'm ready to go if everyone else is.
Lead the way.
All right.
All right.
Very good.
Makai's like, yeah, sounds good to me. Let's keep going. Let's go. Let's go. You guys continue on, and she like kind of does a little like I don't know the technical term for when you kick the
Spur.
horse a little bit. There you go.
You spur the horse.
And Boris is like, oh, no. Just slowly continues on. His little carrot tied to his forehead, just like wiggling very slowly as he goes, and leaving glitter, just a trail of glitter, turquoise in color, behind, that disappears after a couple of seconds after he goes on.
Oh, good. Because I was going to say I'm going to be behind her at the rear. And the last thing Arik wants is just just
When we finally catch up, Arik is just like a glowing disco ball, like out there.
I've already
Like
got
what?
disadvantage on stealth. I don't need to be trying to hide in the woods and gleaming with my glitter everywhere. Arik will look like he just came out of the strip club.
So yeah, you continue along. How about somebody roll me a d20 and we'll see if anything happens on this day. The rest of this day.
Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
I was gonna say, don't make me. I've made one roll and it was
10.
a nat 1.
Middle of the road.
Well, these ones, remember.
All right,
like,
these ones pick some
doesn't
shit out
matter,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I always associate rolling die with like the higher the better. Every time, no matter what.
Okay. So, yeah, you continue along. The rest of your day goes by fairly uneventful, except probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half from the point at which you guys headed off from the hill giants. You come through, again, you're not traveling along a road necessarily, but definitely a trail that is worn and has been used by more than just Varum and his companions. So at a certain point, you guys are walking along and you see something like wriggling in the center of the trail. It looks, from the distance that you're probably like a good 100 or so feet away by the time you see it. And it's just this like roiling kind of mass in the middle of the road, maybe about the size of like a basketball, just like in the middle of the road, all these things moving all together. You see glints off of the sun, or from the sun off of this ball, and you can see like greens and browns and like natural earthy colors just like moving all together. And as
he'll lean past and he'll just say, that one doesn't look like a ghost.
Neither did the ghost.
So
fair point to you, or not.
As you get closer, you begin to see, you get a little bit of a better view, and you can see this like, you can see that it's a bunch of snakes. As you're getting closer, they're just all, yeah, essentially. Is anybody proficient in nature? I guess Micaiah would be.
I think Micaiah is the only one.
I'm gonna have her roll.
Oh. Did she roll nat 20, or is this like glitching again with the triumphant music?
So that was a nat 20.
Oh,
so
okay.
Micaiah is just like, bunch of snakes fucking.
I was gonna say that's what a mating ball is for snakes.
Yeah.
You're fine. That's what they do.
Like,
I
we're
didn't
gonna
want to say
want
that in case it was like a monster or something like that.
like you start to see as you get closer, like the greens, and then you start to see like yellows and reds and bright colors.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Who got the inspiration? Oh, hey. Hi. You start to see a bunch of like brighter colors, and Micaiah's like, those ones are poisonous. We're gonna wanna circumvent, go around, just avoid.
Clearly they're busy.
So, as you kind of give it a little bit of a wide berth going around, you can see just like, yeah, this mating ball of like snakes fucking in the middle of the road.
That's the most pedestrian thing I think we've ever rolled for on like a random. They're not taught. Like I have expected us to roll by, and the snakes are gonna be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, like something. We just.
Well, you never know what Micaiah could hear.
She understands. It's like
She's just like la 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 la.
It's just a bunch of Macho Man Randy Savage sounding snakes. Just oh yeah, you like that? Oh yeah. It's horrifying.
Yeah, Boris is just like, circle of life, man. Beautiful, beautiful thing to behold, right? Beautiful, beautiful. As he's walking by, like, gorgeous.
Have you ever had a girlfriend, Boris?
Like, I've had a few.
You're a handsome guy. I can see it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Stay away from my horse, though.
I only go for other unicorns. You're good. You're good. It is a handsome horse, though. I'll give it that.
You're a good. I was gonna say you're a good man. You're a good man, but you're a good unicorn.
Thank you. I try. Some days are better than others, you know. But comes with the territory.
Today's a beautiful day. I can't even talk to Boris without laughing.
So you all continue on past the fucking snakes, and you get to an area where you feel like pretty confident. And as you kind of like round this corner, off in the distance, probably like if you had time, because you see the sun is starting to set now. If you had time, you could probably make it, but off in the distance you see a large like rock wall, not man-made, but a natural, just like cavern wall, very, very tall. It's hard to tell. And you see these two large, what appear to be, at least from the distance that you're at, what are probably statues on flanking what looks to be some kind of like inlet into the rock wall. Again, pretty far away. You're seeing this at a pretty far distance. Like it's tomorrow you'll get there, basically. But you don't have enough time to get there. And even if you did, as you're all kind of sitting with each other, pointing it out, looking at it, it's like, well, we could get there, but what if there's something waiting for us? We would have traveled all day. We won't be ready. So you feel like, based off of where the tracks are going, like that is your destination, is whatever that those large statues are off in the distance. And as you're looking in that direction, you can also see what appears to be the ruins of some kind of village or a small town. Same thing with the ruins that you've seen all around. It's like stone that is broken. It's been there for a while, but it's like off in the distance. You feel like your journey is coming to not an end per se, but You're getting close.
It's very final. Your journey is at an end.
I don't know anyone else outside of campaign. Anyone else getting major never-ending story vibes from those two big statues on each side of an opening? Like, it's immediately where my mind went.
I was thinking about the giant ones on the river in Lord of the Rings, in the Fellowship.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
So,
Argo start breaking out his stuff off of his horse. And are we setting up camp here? Is that the?
yeah, I was gonna have Zan roll a survival check to just see how much longer it takes for you to find a good spot.
That's an 11.
Okay. So you find yourselves having to travel for like maybe another hour before you find a spot, Zan, that you're like, this is perfect. Like, it's a little bit later than you would want it to be, but not too bad. And you're able to set up camp for the evening. All right. I'm gonna have who's on first watch for the night?
I'll take first watch.
Okay. Roll a d20.
The sun's still up at this point?
Yeah.
Alright, Argo. The giant stone wall, he'll look at those for a while. Those kind of remind him of his home city state of Westermarn. So he's just thinking of that as the sun's going down past him. It is a 10.
All right. So your watch goes by, no issues. As the sun is going down, so you're the lucky one who gets to watch the sunset as the others go to sleep. You can see that it starts to get cooler at night, as it would, and you start to see the animals that come out when the sun isn't bearing down on everything. But nothing catches your eye as being unusual, or you listen out, you don't hear any giants or anything along those lines.
Okay.
Looking out in the direction of the statues and the big mesa wall, you don't, as you're looking, you don't see any lights or anything as the sun goes down. Eventually it just gets too dark for you to see that far. But there's no indication that there's movement out there.
No fires or anything like that?
No.
And in the direction, did you say in the other direction we passed more ruins? Or, oh no, I'm sorry, that was an hour back, wasn't it?
You've been kind of passing ruins all the while, but none of them are like new structures that have been recently destroyed or anything.
Okay. All right. Well, he'll just keep an eye out, watch the sun go down, listen out. Just yeah. You know, polish and oil his weapons and all that, like he usually does.
Put on his headphones, listen to some Wu-Tang.
There you go.
It's gonna be more oldie time for if I'm gonna be eating Necco wafers and drinking tea. It's gonna be old.
All right, who's up next?
I'll do next. Erdnot will do next.
All right, go ahead, roll a d20.
As Art passes him, he'll just tell Erdnot, keep an eye out for the beasties. I heard them rustling around. You said I saw some like animals that were coming out, right?
Yeah, you saw like little animals, like nighttime creatures are starting to come out. Yeah.
11, or not just grunts.
You want to roll for Gildan as well?
17.
All right. I would say it's probably pushing like 11 o'clock at night when Gildan catches your attention and points your gaze up, and you see up on a hill back the way you came. You see a very quick glint of something. Obviously the sun is down, so the fact that you saw a glint of anything at all, like, it's not necessarily natural, we'll say. It's not like fireflies or whatever. You look out and over on a hill you see a glint of something, and then Gildan lets you know that he saw what appeared to be a small humanoid figure that disappeared out of sight after the glint.
So, like, self-illuminating, or is there, like, glinting off the moonlight?
The moon is out, so it could be that. But it looked almost like if you know, there was like a belt buckle or something along those lines that the light reflected off of for a moment, and Gildan saw a shape that, you know, like you're looking at it from behind, it's like it disappeared back. It went back the other way, and the height was too high to see more.
How far off was that?
Probably a good 150 feet, like way off, barely caught it.
I would instruct Gildan to quietly investigate.
Okay. Roll a stealth check for Gildan.
Jesus. A stealth check for a giant pig.
Dirt pig, I choose you. I like that you have your own celestial Pokemon.
I guess should have had his stat block up beforehand.
I don't have him being proficient in anything. It doesn't say. So I think just roll a d20.
Okay. Yeah, it is no proficiency. Okay. Alrighty.
Dirt pig, I choose you. Go.
19.
Nice.
Hey, there
He's
you
on,
go.
he's on the tip of his hooves.
So
He's hiding behind a tree, but somehow, even though he should stick out this from the sides, he somehow turns his body just so.
It's a perfectly shaped, pig-shaped bush.
Yeah.
So Gildan, roll me another perception check.
So that'd be another, just 20, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have a plus, I don't believe. It doesn't say anyway.
No, no. Alright.
Let's go, Gildan.
12.
Okay. So Gildan is able, he communicates to you, that, you know, he's feeling pretty stealthy tonight, actually. He's feeling really good about how quiet he is, and like nobody's going to be able to hear him. He's doing such a good job. But unfortunately, like focusing on being quiet, looking up, he is unable to see anything else of any figure that may have been there. Getting the impression that whoever it was is still somewhere up too high for him to see. But he was feeling really good about how quiet he was being. They definitely didn't hear him, whoever it was.
Alright.
Self-satisfied pig.
Well, remember, it's an angel that is forced to take the shape of a pig, so it's probably not his first choice.
I know, what an asshole you are for summoning him as a pig. You could have made him a glorious angel-worthy animal, and you made him a dirt warthog-looking Pumbaa thing that just appears in a puff of dirt.
Hey, a horse can't attack, okay?
Sure it can.
It can, but probably not as good as Gildan.
Yeah, alright, so we would just both be extra vigilant for the rest of our watch, and I would inform Zan of what I saw and where I saw it when we changed shifts.
Okay. Is Zan taking the next one, or was he going to take the last one?
Micaiah,
yeah,
Zan, whoever.
Zan usually takes the last watch.
All right. So I'm gonna roll here. So Zan, why don't you go ahead? So Micaiah's watch goes by, no issues, and you can roll me a d20 for Zan's watch.
I roll for Gildan again.
Maybe.
That's a 9.
Okay. So your watch also goes by with no issues. I'm gonna roll something. Actually, hold on. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna roll your death.
Oh, okay. Actually, so Zan, you, as you are on watch with Gildan is out, doing his perimeter watch. You look over and the light from the moon is shining tonight, so it's coming down, and you see out of the corner of your eye some movement. And when you look over, you can see the shape of a very human-looking child, probably 50 or so feet off into the sand, like off of the beaten path that you're on. Nearby, just some rubble that looked like it probably could have been some ruins, but it was destroyed enough to not really have the shape of any particular home. And you can see this child, or figure of a child, is squatting down. Like, you can see them from profile, and they're drawing something in the sand. It looks like you can only see really a silhouette from the angle that you're at, but the moonlight is shining down. And you could see them kind of like reaching over into a little dark pouch and then having their hand come back and draw in the sand. But again, about 50 feet or so away at this point.
It's my little buddy.
Zan's gonna try and get a bit of a closer look, so he says about 50 feet away. Zan will move forward about 25 feet. And
Are you being
see
stealthy?
Yes.
Okay. You can roll a stealth check.
16.
So you're able to get closer. You very slowly approach, and the child does not appear to have noticed you. They continue just drawing in the sand, reaching over into this pouch, pulling out something, and then drawing some more. Roll a perception check.
25.
Okay. You see this figure is reaching into a pouch next to it, and you can see pulling out like blue sand, and you just catch a hint of the color as they like reach over, pull it out, and then bring it back over in front of them where you can't really see what they're drawing. But again, they haven't noticed you, and they just keep going back to it and then putting it down. And very kind of fluid, not in a rush. Getting closer, you have a little bit of trouble focusing on like any kind of features. You can tell it's a small person. The hair length seems to almost change and shift as you get closer. The clothing is nondescript, very like ragged, old. There's no color to it. And as you get closer and closer, I don't want to assume, how close are you trying to get?
Staying stealthily. He's just gonna, now their back is to Zan, so he's not like looking towards the direction that Zan's coming.
It's kind of almost like at an angle, like you can see their profile when they reach over, but they don't seem to have noticed you. Like they're it's like, what would be the angle from you? Like a 40, like 65-degree angle? Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, so Zan will continue to approach stealthily and quietly, just trying to see if there's anything off about this person or child.
Roll one more stealth check.
18.
So you are able to get like right up to just behind this child, almost like standing over them at this point, and they just keep reaching into that bag, and just as you get up right to them, they're gone, obviously, as would happen. So you see them like
Sam was so stealthy that he was just going to like take the bag of holding and just scoop the ghost up into it.
It's almost like at a certain point you blink, and when your eyes open, they're just gone. And looking down, you can see, drawn in the sand, I don't know if you guys would recognize. Actually, roll. Make an investigation check.
All I can think of is the old Are You Afraid of the Dark? Where the girl is stuck in the mirror. She's the ghost girl, and she writes "Help me" backwards on everything. It's just like a little. It's just like a little ghost kid that says like "Help me" in the sand constantly. It's just like shit. This just changed.
21.
Okay.
Nice.
You recognize the symbol that you see in the sand. It is 3 lines that are drawn like a V. It's in blue sand, which is not the color that you have seen it in before, but it's like a V that is to the thing down, pointing to the left. And with that investigation roll, you recognize this as the symbol that you saw on the Cathja shadow chest plates and whatnot that Cathja's shadow wore. But when you saw it, obviously they were red. So you're used to seeing it, but when you're looking at it, you're like, I know that symbol. And it's the 3 lines that are it's like written in blood, but it's like the K, the angle of the K without the line on the side.
Zan's just gonna take one more quick look around and then head back to camp. He's got something to tell Erdnot in the morning.
The rest of the evening goes without a hitch, and in the morning, you wake up to another bright day. The sun comes up pretty early, and the coolness of the night goes away. It is, let's see what the weather looks like, shall we?
Just one
Scattered
giant
clouds,
gown.
but mostly clear today. So another beautiful day in the desert. And actually it's 10:30, so we can do our break. And when we come back from the break, we can do our giveaway.
Sure. I like the idea of like Zan and Erdnot talking about the ghost in the morning, and Arik is just like pulling his like sleeping bag cover furs over his head, like I don't want no with the ghosts.
No more ghosts.
No ghosts. Let me sleep. Enough of ghosts.
So we are going to do our 10-minute break. We will be back, and when we come back, I'm gonna start with the giveaway thingy so that I don't forget. But tonight's giveaway is from our wonderful sponsors over at Be a D&D. Please check them out, and definitely enter into the giveaway this evening. All right, we will be back.
But like, I don't know if it's my ADD or my obsessive compulsive, but like I will change it and I'll go back and then I'll change it the same amount and I just keep going back and forth.
On the Hero Forge?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They've added more, like so many more options and stuff. That's cool. I love it.
Right.
It's my favorite thing to do at work.
I did it, Graham. I didn't forget. I don't forget if I do it like right as we come out of the break. Otherwise, I will forget. So we are doing the Be a D&D giveaway. One last chance for you to enter. You can choose your very own design. Ooh, we have multiple people who entered tonight. A bunch of newbies too. So
I think it must have been that raid.
yeah, we have
Fresh blood.
one,
That's why I
two,
jumped
three.
in. And I was like, don't go anywhere. Hold on. We have a thing we do.
Yeah, we have 8 people who entered, which is great. So I'm going to give one more chance for people to jump in there. I did get, was it you, Bearded Fortune? I got somebody's message on Discord. So I'll definitely get that out tonight. All right, I'm going to close the giveaway. One more chance. Just throwing it out there. Okay, Bearded Fortress. Thought it was you. Which one did you go with? I kind of read it and then I was doing 6 other things and totally forgot. It was the Piano Mimic. Is that the one? So I'm going to close the giveaway. And I would love to see a picture of the Piano Mimic when you get it. Would love to see it. And we will pick a winner. So this is going to show up in chat. Whoever wins, you're going to be able to choose a merch item from Be a D&D. So here we go.
Cheese cat.
Cheese cat. Cheese cat. You have won.
You should save it so we can send it when I say it. Jesus Christ! What? I just had a fucking stroke. I'm so sorry. Like, but I was gonna say we should send the shirt when I send those squirrel.
Oh yeah.
Furs. Furs, not furs, but pots.
Yeah, you can have socks. Why not? I think you've already won, right? Before? I can coordinate that. I'll coordinate that with Be a D&D. Yeah, let me know which socks you'd like, and we'll make that happen for you. So congratulations. Thank you for hanging out with us and being our friend. Oh, she's got a mug and a shirt already, so awesome.
Shirt and socks, all right.
There you go.
Now we just need some bottoms.
I know they do have some pants, I think, but I don't know what the price tag is on those. Happy birthday,
today
month.
Your birthday?
Well, I think it was. Wasn't it already? Wiener. Okay, so congratulations. Thank you to everybody who has joined in. The 30th. Okay, it's coming up.
Oh.
And yeah. I am also jealous of that mug. Okay, so we will close out this and just let me know which design you would like. You can message me on Discord too, and I'll send both of them over to Be a D&D. Check them out. Go to their website. I'm gonna do the thing, and then you can go check out. Everybody can go to their website and look at their stuff that they have. Very much recommend following them on Instagram as well. They've got stuff coming out all the time. They're building a whole world. Okay.
I can't let it escape the fact that Grem said, you escaped another t-shirt this time, Ark the Undying Fire song. I fucking love that Ark the Undying. I love that in my head. Yes.
Don't
I gotta come up
jinx
with
it.
something. No. I'm saying I gotta come up with something. Even if Ark dies, the legend lives on of Ark the Undying.
Yeah, there you go. So we rejoin you all on the, is it the 23rd? Did you start the 23rd? Hold on, let me say what I said here. I thought it was, were you on the 22nd?
23rd of Nidal.
Oh, okay. Then I have you another day. Hold on, I gotta make another day go by. So we rejoin you. We rejoin you on the 24th of Deep Winter. I don't even have you in the right month.
Oh jeez! Oh Jesus! Look at the time zip.
All right, so
as you stand there early that morning, you see the sun fly across the sky. The night comes, the sun comes again, the night comes. Kaleidoscope of time flashes before your eyes.
That's what happens when Zan sneaks up on ghosts like that.
All right, the 24th.
You guys don't even realize how low I was rolling there. I haven't rolled over a 10 tonight. I have a +10 to stealth, and like the fact that I rolled an 18, I was like, that's awesome, but I rolled an 8. Like, oh my god, I have rolled like shite tonight.
So, 24th of Hammer Deep Winter. About 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, you wake up And Zan is awake, hovering over you, or not, just standing
this
there.
The sky's awake.
Zan's like sitting by the fire like this, just watching or not waiting for him to wake up. He doesn't realize how creepy that really is.
I know you're staring at me, lad. The pig tells me so. What is it?
I'm sorry.
His eyes are still closed. He's laying there.
I'm sorry, Erdnot. I didn't want to wake you, but I saw something last night that I think you should know. And next to him on the ground, Zan's just gonna trace the little symbol. I saw a spirit or something last night by the ruins. Young child was drawing this symbol in blue sand.
Show me.
Zan will show Erdnot where he saw them.
So you all, or the two of you, get up and head over in the direction that you saw the child the night before. And of course, as you would expect, honestly, as you get over there, there's nothing in the sand. No blue sand, no evidence of a child or anything drawn in the sand. It's just the ruins are there. It looks like how about both of you make me investigation checks now that the sun is up and you can see better?
That's an 11 for Zan.
Okay.
Oh, that's intimidation. Ooh,
8.
it's an 8.
So looking out in this area as you're, approaching the spot where the child was, you can see that there are, broken stone. It's roughly in the shape of a building of some kind, but it's so far worn away by the weather that you can't tell any additional details.
My stone cunning.
Would that give you advantage?
I don't know. I'm trying to read it and see where the hell it is.
I think you get to double your proficiency when it has to do with the history of stone structures that were like crafted.
Is it just stone structures, or is it anything that was like
whenever you make an intelligence check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in the history skill and add double your proficiency bonus to the check. So
would that get you to like an 11?
Well, you had me do an investigation. This is for an intelligence.
Well, investigation, check, so. I believe, is intelligence.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I would be proficient at it, and it would double the proficiency bonus. So.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up your thing here. So you got a proficiency, so +6. And you're already proficient in investigation, so it did add it already, right? So it'd be an 11, which still is just kind of hard to see. You can't get any additional information. Like, clearly this is a stone structure that was built and was very likely someone's living quarters. But it's so far gone that you're just having.
I think it would have actually been a 14, because on his investigation roll for the 8, it doesn't add his proficiency, so it would have been a +6.
He's already proficient in it though, so it would technically be a -1, and then it added the +3 to give him a +2.
Oh, he has a negative intelligence modifier. I thought it was a
it's -1. Yeah.
Oh, I thought Erdnot was brainy.
No, I reckon Erdnot are pretty. We're not.
I did not know that.
He's wise. He's very wise.
That's what I'm thinking. He's a dwarf, I thought He had the brains.
Not even my two
Got the common
lowest are
sense.
wisdom and intelligence.
Did not know that. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna actually make a note of that.
He's gonna use it against you in the future.
It's funny because Arik and Erdnot are the same in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. We're both just wisdom and intelligence. Nope.
All right, so but yeah, Erdnot looking around, and Zan, both of you looking like you're like, I swear it was here, but they're the only indication that anything happened here is that you can kind of see your footprints. It's not like thick sand or anything. It's a mixture of like cracked earth and sand that's blowing in from various areas, but you can see where you walked, Zan, the night before, but there's nothing there. Nothing at all.
I'm gonna cast Divine Sense. So if there's a ghost within 60 feet, I should know where it is.
Cram. I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should. I'm just gonna, I think, do it. So Erdnot, you cast Divine Sense. So you look, you kind of like pull that energy in and then like let it loose to try to determine if there's any ghostly presence anywhere. And as you're scanning around, you get a ping, and you look over and you can see from behind a wall, like a cracked wall, this stone that is crumbling on one side. It's jutting out, and it looks to be like the remains of a building. And from just behind, you're like, is that a... And it's this like shimmering light blue, kind of whitish. You can barely make it out, but you can see as you're like getting closer, you step closer to see, and you can just see this big, round, perfect ass mooning you from behind the wall.
I was gonna be nice to this little ghost shit, but he's fucking wiggling his undead ass at me.
It does. It wiggles. There's a little wiggle to it, and then you hear a little. Ooh, hold on. I'm getting this.
This ghost is Bart Simpson. Oh, creepy.
And then the ass just goes whoop and quickly disappears into the behind the wall, and almost immediately the sense that you had of a ghost being nearby is just gone.
Took off beyond the 60-foot radius.
Yeah.
Or not, just takes a couple steps forward, assuming it's the boy ghost. I saw you, lad. You little fuck. Come here, I got questions.
Nothing.
Would that wake Arik up?
Oh yeah, everybody's waking up. Yeah, you're like on the cusp.
From this distance, he probably thinks that Erdnot is yelling at Zan from the proximity of them. Like Zan's running away from him, like for some reason.
So you see nothing, you feel nothing, like it's like you just got mooned by a ghost.
Turn to Zan, like, going to ask him if this someone wearing this symbol killed him. Now he's lucky if he comes back around, I don't smite him myself.
Zan, you didn't see that ass.
Dead ass.
That was for Erdnot.
I did not have that same experience when I saw the ghost. Perhaps it was some sort of message or meaning behind it.
Lad, when someone wiggles their arse at you, there's only one meaning behind it.
Kiss it.
Then I don't know if perhaps you've offended a ghost along the way in your travels.
Oh, I've offended many.
Then perhaps this was some sort of retribution for someone you may have wronged.
Well, I'll wrong him back to hell. He just stomps off back to his... back to the camp.
Micaiah is like, what was that, Erdy? Who you yelling at? Yelling
Soon
at
to
Zan?
be dead undead.
Oh, more ghosts, huh?
Bastard.
Ghosts. I've had my fill of ghosts.
Hmm.
All right.
They seem to be attracted to us for some reason.
There's nothing to do with the whole fact that we bring death wherever we go. Bums of greenest.
We do not. Only to the wicked.
Only when we have to.
Oh,
Sorry.
was it the same ghost as before? Actually, last night.
Yeah.
Was it the
Yeah,
same one that we saw on the road before? I only saw its ass.
Yeah, Zan, as you try to even remember what this ghost looked like, you're finding it hard to recall, like, you thought it was a human, you were, like, pretty sure it was a human, but then when your brain focuses on it, it shifts. Could have had pointed ears, could have been a lizard folk, actually, or maybe even somebody who looked a little bit like Orphea, the Yuan-Ti that you found being attacked out in the Mirror of Dead Men. Could have been that, or not. It's hard to focus.
I can't say for sure that it was. It could, but it very well could not have been. I didn't or can't remember anything particular about it.
So it's the living I'm concerned about. Not sure that what I saw was a ghost. The moon shimmered off its armor, so let's keep an eye peeled behind us.
Art's
Good
gonna
idea.
giggle. He's gonna giggle when he said says moon, since he just saw that ghost ass. He's gonna be like, all right, we packing up and moving on.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else here to do.
Nope. So,
All right.
so you all pack up. Boris, who had just been kind of watching over Micaiah, he gets up. She hasn't dismissed him, so he's still his beautiful turquoise, just very, very fits in with the surroundings. Sometimes it's even like the sky matches the color of his shimmering body and mane. So Micaiah jumps on top of Boris. You all mount up and head in the direction of the stone statues that you can see far off in the distance. All right. Why don't you make a d20 roll?
I already did it. It's someone else's turn.
All right, I did sub out dice, so
Go ahead.
Okay.
let's see if it was the dice.
Good luck.
Not bad, 16. So
Okay.
it's better than under 10.
All right. I'm gonna make a roll. So, okay. So you all continue along. There are even fewer prints now, like in the sand, and along the earth of the tracks that you are following from Varum. and his companions, where it started off with probably about 24, 25 individuals. By the time they got here, maybe closer to about half of that. And you have seen like little markers as you've gone along, but you know, hard to tell if they were from this particular party or what. Given the fact that you did come across some hill giants, it could be that maybe they weren't as lucky, and in that case, there wouldn't be any bodies to bury. So you do see that at least if you catch up to Verum, you might have less individuals to have to encounter. But as you are continuing along, whoever is in the front, make a perception check.
16.
Okay. You catch yourself seeing something out of the corner of your eye. You stop everybody, kind of hold them, and then you look over and you can see about like maybe 100 or so feet off, and the distances aren't too far away, because as you're coming around bends and stuff, like you can see out in front of you, but there are still like canyon, like ravines over on the side, and these like smaller mesas, boulders and stuff that you're going through. You catch movement up ahead, and you stop everybody, and in front of you, you see a small band of what appear to be lizard folk. A couple of them riding giant lizards that are passing in front of you, like between some boulders and mesas, like they're coming across in front of you. They don't appear to have seen you. You can see about 6 of them, with 2 of them riding on top of these large lizards, these giant lizards. They look different than the ones that you saw in the Mirror of Dead Men. Their scales are a little bit more of a kind of like brownish golden color, as opposed to the more kind of like greenish hues that the lizard folk in the mirror had. They have a lot less clothing than the ones in the mirror. I mean, the majority of them do. The ones that are riding on top of the giant lizards have more clothing. I would say they're more covered up, protected from the sun, but the others have probably only like loincloth type stuff, but they do have weapons. And Zan, make a perception check. Actually, everybody can make a perception check.
19.
11. Nothing. Oh, yeah, 11. Nothing but
15.
middle of the road rolls.
15 for Arik.
Okay. So Zan and Arik, looking out, you can tell that this appears to be like a hunting party. They already have something that they are towing behind. Most of it appears to be like cut up into various pieces, but they are dragging like large chunks of something behind them. And as they are crossing in front of your path, you see one of them turns and sees you. And they all kind of stop and look at you all, but they don't advance. And again, they're about 100 feet away, give or take. Maybe 100, 150 feet away. And they all just kind of stop, and you can hear like loud grunting coming from the giant lizards, as they're almost like doing a kind of intimidation, aggressive, stay away from us kind of thing.
Dewbacks from Star Wars.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And they just kind of stop and they ready their weapons, and they're just standing there looking at you from a fair distance, but they're not coming at you.
Not turns to everyone, says, "Keep your weapons stayed. Don't make any threatening moves." And he just puts up one hand like this, and nods, and then puts it back down on like, he doesn't have any reins. Just grabs a tuft of hair and then just sits there.
Micaiah, at this point, she's like, I'm gonna try something. And then you hear her yell out something. Does anybody else speak Draconic?
Zan does.
Okay. So you hear Zan and you understand Micaiah yells out like, we're just passing through. No, nothing to worry about here. We mean you no harm, like stuff like that in Draconic. And you see the lizard folk off in the distance. They kind of like look at each other, and you can see that they're talking to one another, but not taking their eyes off of you. And then they just sit there for a moment staring at you, and then you start to see them like continue on ahead, crossing across again your path, like perpendicular, not parallel. They're not going along with you, but they keep their weapons ready, and then they just continue on until they disappear behind one of the stone outcroppings.
I'm surprised. Last time Ergnut, you raised your hand like that, it was at the that castle in the middle of the swamp, and we almost died.
Different outcome every time, boy.
Perhaps we should give a little time so that they get a little distance between us, just in case.
Aye. We'll sit a few minutes, have a drink.
Just keep your eyes peeled, just in case they circle back.
Agree.
Let's see. Oh shit. Okay. So you guys stand there, giving them a minute to take off. And at the same time, about, 30 seconds or so into waiting, all of you see a bunch of rocks like fall down from behind you. Not large rocks, it's just like a little mini, like a tiny mini landslide of something that's fallen. And as you look up, you can see, again, probably a good like 50 or so feet behind you, but up on top of a hill on the side, like raised at an angle behind you. You all catch a glimpse of something just like hide itself where you cannot see, from up on top of the hill.
Sorry, I thought you were done.
Nope. I'm done.
Arik will look over to Zan, because we saw him misty step on top of rocks earlier. Zan, do you think you can get up there?
You said it was about 50 feet?
About 50 feet back, and probably about 15, 20 feet up.
I can't go quite that far, but if we get a little closer, I might be able to see what it was.
Probably best to not go towards it. Let that follow us. It might not know that we know it's there.
Well, did it try to hide itself once it saw that we turned and looked? Like when we looked at it?
Yeah, so I would say it's almost less that it tried to hide itself when you turned and looked, and more like when the rocks kind of fell.
Okay.
Like looking over, you can see what probably occurred is that they fucked up and like their foot slipped or something, and it caused a bunch of rocks to fall, and then you caught, as you turned around to look, you caught like just the edge of them disappearing as they were like, oh shit.
Was it a large creature or like a humanoid size?
Like a small humanoid.
Oh, okay. So it's the thing that I saw at night. Has to be. Again, I still say we move forward. Keep an eye on it. Perhaps we let it get close enough and then we ambush it.
Try to draw it out into the open.
Aye.
Not bad.
All right, we can give it a try. We'll have somebody discreetly can try and follow for it. Watch out for it. I'll keep eyes to the front. Someone keep them behind us.
What's Micaiah has better perception than Arik, I'm assuming, right? She'd be far more perceptive and all that.
She's got a +2.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be better because mine's a plus nothing.
Okay.
So yeah, perhaps we should ride in pairs instead of a line then.
We've been riding in a line.
Well, I
just thought we've been riding. Like, I didn't know we were being sand people and riding single file. I thought we were just kind of,
I'm sure it's been shifting as
Yeah.
we've gone along.
I just imagined it in my head as single file. That we had one person watching the rear and all that. It's just because that's how we've traveled so far when we were on horses, like with the caravan. Pretty much, you know what I mean, in a line. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be whatever. Perhaps we should ride 2x2. That way we have a pair anyway watching the front, and me and Micaiah can watch out from back.
Whatever it is, I think it'll make its move, or at least potentially show itself. I'm losing my Urdnot voice. Next time we stop to take a break. Because each time, if it's the thing I saw last night, it was at night from a distance. Now we're stopped again.
Most likely, but trying to keep an eye out as we move doesn't hurt.
We'll go a few more miles. We stop, eat. Perhaps one of us goes off to use the bushes. Maybe that will draw its attention.
Sounds like you're volunteering for that duty there, or not?
We should probably find out what it is before we use someone as bait.
Yes.
Well, we need to draw it out. The only way to draw it out is with some bait.
Let's keep our eyes open as we go forth.
Arik is just going to be like, that's what I said.
All right. So you all are continuing along in the direction of the... Okay. All right. So the day wears on. As time goes on, you do not see... Looking back, you don't see any more evidence of anything following you. There's no more rocks falling or anything along those lines. Keeping your eyes out, looking. No more suspicious movements from this particular entity. You see like animals that cross your path or dart from behind, but it becomes pretty clear that like as you're looking up, you're not seeing anything anymore as you go. So probably about, we'll go with midday, you finally approach and begin to get a better look at the large statues and the large rock face, the wall that extends pretty high up, hundreds of feet up. Again, natural stone, not a built structure or anything, but the statues. And then as you're getting closer, you can see dotted, like buildings of various kinds that are ruined. What appear to be broken towers, perhaps even like a temple at one point. You start to come into an area that it's like, okay, this is very likely was a city or a village or some kind of town, and the trail continues forward directly in the direction of the two statues. And
does this town look like it was destroyed via siege?
As you get closer, why don't you go ahead and make me a the stone, whatever, cunning.
Okay.
Roll.
So that you just roll a investigation.
Yeah, roll investigation, and then you can add 3 to that.
No.
What is up with these sound effects?
I know. It's every time I go back to the roll thing. I don't know why it does that.
All right, so it's a 10, then add my proficiency, but then I can double it, right? So it's a 6.
No, it's
to
already
it?
it's already in there. So you just
Okay.
add 3 more.
Okay, so 13 then.
13. I see an 8. Oh, 10 plus 3. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. So coming up to all of these structures, you can see that this appears to be the ruins of like a city or a town that when it fell a long time ago. There is evidence of perhaps an attack that happened, but it's difficult to determine like when. The stone is very old, and the fact that time has had so much effect on the buildings, you seem to see evidence of, you know, maybe houses being blown inwards, like they were attacked, but how long ago is difficult to determine, and whoever built this is also difficult to determine. Could have been humans, probably not elves, definitely not dwarves.
Is there any like writing, faded or non-faded, chiseled into any of the stonework? Besides the giant Patreon.com that I see in the dirt.
Yes. No, so you don't. I'm just gonna pull this up so people will know what you're talking about. So basically here, I'll read the description here. So as you get closer, you can see that the entrance to wherever it is that you are heading in with the 2 stone statues, you appear to be entering into a large paved plaza. The remains of a fountain are now little more than a stone circle set around a crumbling hole in the ground leading to a well deep below, and that's going to be actually down to your south, the southerly direction. 2 stone statues stand in the courtyard, rising 20 feet high. Behind them, a 40-foot-high edifice is carved into the cliffside, dominated by relief columns carved with strange, otherworldly scenes. So as you get closer, you can see that. You can tell that. I'm just gonna move you all like right about. Yeah. So the statues are here. And then down to the south is where you can see a well that is in the stone the ground there. Looking at these statues, you can see that the left hand Colossus right here is a bearded human male wearing exotic clothing, but the face is smashed beyond recognition. And you can see that it holds a balance in the right hand and a cudgel at its side. And the left hand is raised as if in warning. And then you see the Colossus on the right hand side here is a young human male wearing similarly exotic clothing. The left half of its head is cracked off and it's lying down at its feet. And the statue holds a shepherd's crook in its left hand, and its right hand is raised in a warning as well.
Sorry, Izzy, but my page hasn't loaded this whole time. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I've been staring at a brown screen this whole time.
That's okay. It is... Oops, sorry, go ahead.
The one on the left, the one with the... Did you say it was a scale?
Yes.
Would Arik recognize it as Tyr, the god of judgment?
No. Would not. Don't recognize this.
Understood.
So, let's see. Yeah, so it's about midday-ish. Where did Micaiah go?
She
You
ran
leave
away.
her behind.
She wanted to go shape-shift and hang out with the lizard folk.
Oh, she's behind. You moved on top of her there. I moved you on top of her. Okay. So, as I said, in front of you, has it loaded yet for you?
Yes, I'm all
Okay.
set. Thank you.
So in front of you is the entrance to this area, and to the south is what appears to be a campsite. So as you're pretty 5, 10, 15, 20. You're pretty decently far away, but you can see the remains of a campfire down to the south, and then of course the well that is even further down.
Arik would start to move towards the campsite just to see how fresh it is.
Yeah, we're gonna investigate that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
While keeping an eye up on so did you say these are structures right here?
Yeah, all of these are like ruins that they're very old, so it appears that like nature has started to take them over as much as it can in this area. Could have been, this one looks like it maybe could have been like a temple of some kind, just based off of the remaining like large wall, and then the fact that it's so close to like this well that you get closer to here.
Arik will start to head over towards it and say to everybody else, keep a careful eye. This is a great spot for an ambush.
So as you get closer here, you can see that there's actually a campfire that, when you get closer, Zan and anybody else who's proficient in survival, why don't you go ahead and make me a survival check to take a look at this campfire and see if you can get any information from it.
Ooh, 22.
Yeah, Zan is not really paying attention right now because that's a 7. He rolled a 1.
Erdnot would be on the walking and just have Gildan back like a couple of paces behind us,
Okay.
So if someone was gonna attack, he'd be the first one to get killed and or hit,
Okay.
and he would let me, and I would know.
Okay.
Or saw something.
Let's see. We'll
And there
say
was much rejoicing.
thank you for the follow. That's what we'll say. Let's see. We'll say Boris is like next to Micaiah as well. Okay. So
It's just you have this like serious looking thing of Gildan, and then when that just popped up next to Micaiah, it's just it's just Boris.
your horses are with you too if you want them to be, but you are kind of approaching an area where like it's very clear that bringing them in past those statues is probably not going to happen. So, let's see here. So, Erdnot, you're the one who figured it out. So you get closer and you can see, that the campfire here is not that old. So you come closer, and while it's not like red hot coals or anything like that, when you dig down just, an inch or two, there's still warmth underneath there, which gives you the impression that while it might not have been in the past like 12 to 18 hours, like somebody was definitely here fairly recently. You are in the middle of a desert, so of course, like, keeping it warm wouldn't be too hard, but
I mean,
it's
if
not
dig it down, that's more of a sign that it was recently used versus just like surface warmth.
right. So the other thing that you notice as you get closer is looking down past the well to or as you guys get closer. Sorry. I'm gonna move you closer to this thing. You see 7 shallow graves. They're off to the east. I didn't put them on here. They're not on this map, but like over here in this direction. Oh no, wait, sorry. East is actually south. Sorry. North is east in this. Just keep in mind that if you're going east, it's actually north. So down here in this direction, past the well, you see 7 shallow graves. And when you get closer, you can tell that they are fairly recent. Definitely
Dude lost
within
a lot
the
of his
past.
posse.
Yeah, definitely within the past 24 hours or so.
Can Ernot look down the well?
Yes.
And Arik is actually going to drop our small stone down there.
Well, I was gonna light the stone and
Oh.
then drop it.
All right.
All
So
right.
working together, Arik pulls a stone, and then Erdnot, you cast light and drop it down. It doesn't go too far, probably about, let's see, it goes about 20 feet or so down. And you hear and see the like tink tink as it goes down. I'm
So it
gonna
doesn't
have
hit water.
no. I'm gonna have you roll a
Death save.
perception check.
Dex, as a giant tentacle erupts from the hole in the ground.
And anyone who is looking down the well, you can roll perception.
Perception.
All right, I know I am too.
And 9.
Fucking 5. There, it's a well. I can't see anything. I see a shiny rock though.
All right. So both of you looking down, you can see the stone like hits the side and then lands down at the bottom. You don't hear any water sounds. And you just see the stone down at the bottom of the well just shining some light up, but you don't see anything at the bottom.
How big is this well? Like, could we fit there if we climbed down?
Yeah, you could. It would be probably a little claustrophobic, but you could do it for sure.
Okay. Just making a mental note.
And then looking around, you can see what appear to be 3 bedrolls that are around this campfire. Just in various spots, whatever, scattered around. But there's nobody here.
Shit, still that's a lot more ominous. Like that just is like betting. No.
We're very close now. Maybe 24 hours.
Well, they must be in the temple. And I'd say it's even shorter than that based on the fact that their beds are still here.
Based on the heat left of the fire.
I wonder if whoever went inside was expecting it to be a one-way trip. I can't imagine just leaving my bed.
Well, could have belonged to one of these ones. Pointing at the graves.
Arik will go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll have to count on his fingers. He'll count the 7 graves, and then he'll turn around and go, 1, 2, 3. I don't know or not. The math doesn't make sense. He's not a super smart guy when it comes to math.
Is there any sign that there was a fight here?
Any blood on anything?
Make an investigation check.
Just him or anybody who's looking?
Anybody who's looking.
21.
Nice.
7.
13.
Yeah, so Arik and Erdnot, you guys are kind of acting almost like Sherlock Holmes and Watson at this point. The two of you together, kind of piecing things together. Zan is kind of looking around at the scenery. Micaiah is chatting with Boris quietly. And the two of you put together, like, you can see as you're like, it's kind of like, you know, one of those stupid primetime TV shows where like, and then he did this. And then you dash over, and you're basically able to put together that whoever the 3 were that were around this campfire, they somehow ended up being dragged in the direction of that well. And then as you get closer, you kind of like put all the things together. Like there was a scuffle and da-da-da, and then you go over to the well and you can finally see just little bits of like blood spatter on the side of the well that lead you to believe that somebody was dragged down there.
And that's how they done it.
I was gonna say, Arik's gonna say, he's gonna look over at the hole and then look over at Erdnot and just say, this was a job well done. And then the glasses are gonna come on, and then you're gonna hear, yeah! And then the intro credits are gonna, you know, the intro's gonna roll. And that's how Erdnot and Arik got their own, you know, D&D Sword Coast CSI.
Miami Vice music starts
Fire
playing.
bottle.
Erdnot just strips his
Esquire.
armor off. So he's got a Hawaiian shirt on.
Arik's suddenly wearing white boat shoes for some fucking reason. Like oversized aviators.
So you crack the case, you can go home.
Alright. Increase that resolution for me. They always do that in those shows.
Enhance.
Erdnot wants to go back and look at the statues.
Okay. Is everybody going back to the statues?
Zan wants to take... Zan didn't look before down the well. Zan wants to take a look down the well. Zan kind of wants to know if there's any reason these people were killed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Make a perception
Zan
check.
looks down. He says,
Dude, when you did that, you disappeared from
I know.
That was great.
It's a unnatural 20.
Okay. So as everybody else starts heading back up in the direction of the statues, Zan, you kind of lean over and look down. You can still see the light from the stone. How long does that light last?
an hour?
Yeah, I think it lasts an hour.
Okay. So looking down, you can still see this stone is just shimmering at the bottom of this dry well. But you feel like as you're looking and scanning down there, you feel like you can see the light, like it's shining in all these directions, and then there's like a little pocket or something. It's hard to tell from the angle that you're at, but basically that the light goes off in a direction that you can't see. So like there's a crack down there. In terms of a reason why, there's no, you can't determine a reason. But
Can
Zan
Zan
right.
tell?
There might be a tentacle in there.
Can Zan tell how deep the well is?
it's about 20 feet down.
Zan's gonna call back to them. I think there's something at the bottom of the well.
Ark would be right there still.
Or not already walking towards the statue says, well, we don't want to jump down there just yet.
Ark will just like slap his knee. That was a good one. You said, well. What, are we stopping puns now? Ark's just gonna like look around like, what? Nobody else got that?
Somewhere roll the ones like,
No. Ark's like, but the aviators. Like, come on. What are you thinking, Zan?
I think it's strange that someone wanted to throw these people down here just randomly. That doesn't bother you?
It's a good
Zan, what
idea.
you do, well, what all of you know is that you didn't see anybody down there. There's no
yeah,
bodies down
I was
there.
gonna say that nobody was thrown down there.
Yeah, there's no bodies down there.
Naked.
Something strange.
Everything in this fucking land is strange to me. Ark's just gonna The world
Ernot
of-
just wants to inspect the statues and see if there's any writing. You said one of them is like holding up a hand, like a warning. So he wants to see if there's like a caution sign on it anywhere.
Okay. So the statues are a good, let me just check here, 200-300 feet away. So are you heading up there by yourself, or is everybody yeah, they're about 270 feet away from where you're currently at. So are you going by yourself, or is the rest of the crew going with you?
I don't know. I got my pig.
Is you're just going? Is anybody else going with him?
Zan's
was
pretty
cool.
much done with the well.
Alright.
He's still curious, but there's a bigger mission.
Maybe we'll figure it out on the way back. You know? The mystery of the bodies and the well. Alright. So we're gonna. Yep.
Yep. Try.
Yep.
All right. So I'm just gonna. I'm only I know you guys have your horses as well. I'm just marking the two that I have
Yeah.
tokens for. All right. So as you get closer to here, you approach the statues, and you hear this sudden sound of grinding stone. On the either side of the statues or along there, you can see that there are relief carved scenes around the entrance to this place right here, and they depict things that you do not recognize. You can see like what appear to be almost like flying saucer type of things.
Ancient
I was
aliens.
gonna say, I'm not saying it's-
Creatures with big eyes, creatures or humanoids that appear to be like holding small items in their hands that they're looking at. These carriages that don't have any horses on them. Like, you see all these weird things depicted in the scenes around these statues. And you can
Fucking
see
Anunnaki? Was that what they were called?
The Anunnaki.
Anunnaki, that's what it was. They used humans to farm gold or some shit.
yeah. So as you get closer, You can see that like through this entrance here, there is the entrance to a crypt up above. It's about 30 feet up atop a stone stairwell that stops 10 feet short of a platform that's jutting out from the cliff face. And you can see that there's a ladder that's leading up to that cliff face. But as you get closer to these statues, there's that sudden sound of grinding stone. And the two figures turn their heads to look at you. Their shattered features are staring down at you. And then two voices issue forth in unison. They're booming out as though erupting from deep in the earth. And you hear, "Halt! You have come before Diderius." Is it Diderius? Hold on. Diderius, ether walker and conduit of clairvoyance. Behold ye now his wondrous triumphs. Diderius extends wisdom, and Diderius offers knowledge. Which do you seek?
Don't let him talk. Oh, I thought it's like Eric move forward first.
No, I was just moving you guys.
I'm like, that's how the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man gets summoned. Ernot looks at everyone else and goes, knowledge?
Oh, I'd say at the moment, yes. Certainly need to know know a lot of things right now.
What's up? Knowledge.
So both of the voices coming from these statues, although their mouths don't move or anything, you just hear the voice echoing out. You hear both of them say at the same time, Diderius shall grant you what you seek, but only if you heed him and continue to show proper respect. And then their faces, their heads shift back to look straight out into the plaza, and they are quiet.
All right. Don't disrespect the statues.
Arik will just call up. Thank you. He'll even bow to him.
Is
These
the
giant talking
rock
statues.
grinding sound still going, or is it?
No, that was just when they were shifting their heads, so you heard like the grinding of the sound when they like shifted their head to look at you and then back again, but there's no sound. Now it's quiet.
Right.
Except for Boris, who's like, wow, never been talked to by a statue before.
That's some shit.
It's a first for me.
I can just see him pulling the doobie from his mouth. Like, did you guys see that too? Or is this just me?
I think that was a first for all of us, Boris.
So Boris looks at Makai and he's like, Makai, honey, I don't think I can climb that ladder. Sorry. I think you all are on your own. Right, Gildan? Makai is like, well, thank you, Boris. And I'll summon you as soon as we're out again, all right? Like, sure thing. I'll be waiting. And she goes, ding, and he disappears.
Arik will look over at Zan and ask, what do you think we should do with the horses?
I don't know if we'll be coming back this way or not. And if it is, who knows how many days we should just let... We can either let them go or tie them up.
That would be a death sentence. Who knows what manner of creature will end up coming by here. So, Argos had to take everything off of his horse.
Leave them with Gildan.
How long can you keep Gildan up? How
As long as he
far?
wants.
Well, we don't know if we'll be coming back.
Well,
Alright, well, we
let
can
them
always...
let them roam. They'll stay within the general area. Gildan will make sure they don't get eaten, and if we don't come back, I'll have him slap them on the asses, and away they'll go.
It's fair enough for me. Maybe, yeah, if Gildan can herd them and keep them in the area and protect them. Sounds fair.
And let us know if someone's coming in after us.
Of course.
Worked in the cave with the little creepy fuckers.
Ark will hobble his horse, not tie it up, but hobble, so it's like it can't like run or move like super fast. So
Yeah.
it stays in the same area.
All right. So you set up your animals to be guarded by Gildan, and head on in.
Nope.
It's like when you park in like a shitty spot that you're not supposed to, or like without filling the ticket meter, but you leave a note. Like I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Right
Please
back.
don't give me a ticket. Don't tow me, please. Just leave that and just slap it on the horse's ass. Please don't tow. I'll be right back.
Getting quarters.
All right. So you guys kind of look at your animals, tip your hat to Gildan, and begin to head into
Temple of Diderius.
Temple of Diderius. And I think that is where we will leave it.
That's a cool little map, though. I like the detail in it. Like when you zoom in, like really far, like the. It's one thing I really like about these maps. When you zoom in, it doesn't lose any like what's the word I'm looking for?
Detail, quality.
Quality, yeah.
They're probably
Yeah.
gigantic files.
There's
Yeah.
always like little things hidden in it. Like remember the castle where we found the little Easter egg of like where the guard, it looks like guard just went off to go take a pee, like in between two rocks. Like there's so
Well-
many cool little things like that.
That map was made by a different person than this one. So this map was made by Pogs Props, which I tried to make sure I'm giving total credit. You can find them on Patreon. I am a patron of theirs because they have made a bunch of maps for Tyranny of Dragons stuff that is better than the ones that are in the books. No offense to the ones in the books. But the one in the book for this particular map is one of those like 10, each square is 10 feet. There's stuff that's going to happen in this map, and having a 10 foot by 10 foot, it just doesn't work. So, so this is like to scale, and it is beautifully done, and I do recommend. For just $1, I think you can become a patron of theirs. So just saying, if you're running Tyranny of Dragons, Pogs Props, you're going to want to go to them. The other map was made by a different map maker where I did give credit on the videos. So if you happen to go back to the VODs, it's a completely different person, but yes, like both of them, they added crazy detail. You can zoom in like really close and see individual stones and shit.
Yeah, like that's what I was doing on that tomb, which I wanted to check out, but I kind of forgot about, to be honest. When you zoom in at like the top of it, like you see like how detailed that moss and stuff is.
Oh,
And these
yeah.
little stones in the moss, like it just, I don't know, it's crazy. You can zoom
Just
in.
even like the grass, like
Yeah.
there's like it's not just like, oh, it's kind of like blurry. It's like, no, you can like zoom in and see like individually each little blade of grass. Like these are
the fucking dirt. You can like
Yeah.
literally just see the dirt. It's like, why is dirt pretty? Like, how did you do this?
Like
Yeah, beautiful
the
job.
detail is insane.
Yeah. So.
Is there a way to see my Foundry module list? Oh yeah, I can show you that. So we are going to end our game at the moment, but I can give you a quick look at the modules that I have on. Let's see. I've got a lot of them. I've got 91 active modules at the moment. Nope, sorry, 77 active ones. And there are a few, like this Boy King of Idaho, that I need to turn on. But About Time, a bunch of them are compendiums for music and stuff like that. You know what I can also do is I can share this on Patreon as a public post so that you can all see what modules I have going on. You know, dynamic effects, I'm not very good at that. The cursor hider, you can technically control C, I think it is, to hide your cursor. But yeah, I've got a ton of them. So I can make this a public post for... There's one particular day of the week that I'm trying to do public posts on Patreon. And make sure everybody sees it. There's a turn alert one that I had on, but then I got a new one that's like next up. And that one is compatible with the latest version. So turn alert, I have not turned on in a while. But that's the thing with some of the Foundry modules, is that somebody will develop it and then maybe that kind of tapers off a little bit and then someone else picks it up and like improves it over time. So same thing with the Mr. Primates D&D Beyond
like
uploader.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know any like jack shit about it, and I'm not good at like coding or anything like that. But is it kind of like open source, where like somebody can work on it, make it, and like come up with the idea, and like you said, somebody later on can improve on it?
Yeah,
that's really
and
cool.
as they improve Foundry, they always have, like, people who have worked on these modules have to update their code because stuff that they're improving can break the thing that they've already built. So you see that a lot too. If I were to check this box, I don't know if it would mess anything up, but Boy King of Idaho, beautiful music, gorgeous music. I reached out to him to make sure that like he knew that I was using the music in this stream, and he was cool with it. So just definitely recommend download this compendium. I haven't turned it on yet, but I've already heard and I have a bunch of Boy King of Idaho music, so do it. Worth it. Excited for the new audio engine for Foundry in the next update. I am as well. I cannot wait. There's going to be all these audio updates that will allow for like fading of music instead of like right now I manually fade music out and stuff like that. This is supposed to allow for some new things that you can do with audio. I'm very excited about it.
Nice.
But yeah.
So can I say, like, before we started, like when I knew nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, had no idea that like you could incorporate music into it. Like that's like my favorite part of this, like so far, when it's all of a sudden that little creepy lass that plays or whatnot. It's like I had no idea.
We've been doing music since like the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That is so cool.
Yeah, but it was different because it was like
it was just on the Bluetooth speaker.
Well, not only that, but it was on like Spotify or Pandora or whatever. So you'd play it and it'd be like, yeah, this is badass. And then in the middle of a battle, it'd be like, hi, do you need a vacuum? You know, I'm Handy Andy. You know, it's just one of those. And then we'd just be like, the fuck? And then like, you know, Izzy would be like, hold on a second and change it. But now it's like, we went from that on like paper, which is cool, don't get me wrong, like the tactile nature of moving your mini and stuff is great, I love that, but we went from paper and like minis that were just store-bought to this, which has like music and sound. Actually no, we went to Roll20.
Yep.
And that was good at the time, you know what I'm saying? And then you upgrade to this and now it's like dynamic effects with rain and fucking actual lighting effects and
the sounds and everything.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah, I'm gonna be using Foundry probably, like, I'll very likely, when we're playing in person, have it, and maybe even I'll have to work with the compound on this, but maybe have the sound hooked up so that you can hear what's on here, so I can just use it as my repository for the whole story, and still be able to keep everything in here, and then also keep all my sound effects and everything, but also use that my sound delve to, in real time, without having to search for it in Foundry, like quickly click on stuff, so that you can hear it like right away. But yeah, definitely gonna try to keep the music and sound effects thing going.
Now what we need is we need to build we got to bring it full circle and wrap it all together. So we need a D&D table with a screen in the middle that you can stream Foundry on as we move our little actual minis across it. You know what I'm saying? Like tie it all in together. And
Total
it has to,
hybrid.
yeah. And it's got to have like a Lex hand cover so you can actually draw on it with a marker if you need to. That's what we need. Get on it, Pat. You're the wizard with that stuff.
Well, I mean, it's just a flat screen TV with a piece of Lexian over the top. I mean, that's.
Yep. I'll get the Lexian for free from work. That's all.
We can make this happen. This is like totally in the realm of feasible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, sorry. Derailed all that.
All right, well, our session is done. Hopefully on Saturday, Annie will be back because you guys are going in here. So,
well, I mean, it's not like she skipped purposely today.
No,
like,
no.
She was gearing to go. She had a guitar ready, and then she just like suddenly fell ill.
Yes. So hopefully she'll be fine for next week, and we'll pick it up, and we'll be back on Tuesday either way. So Monday I will be back over at Wetzelhausen's playing Jinkies, Candlekeep Mysteries, and we are over our $1,100 mark for last week. So we'll see what the new one is for Monday. Then Tuesday we will be continuing with the Wicked Independent Prestige Incorporated anthology, DM'd by Erdnot Brewbottle / Cuba. And Thursday I may do DM prep. If not, it'll be a rerun of either this session or Tuesdays, and I'll be in chat either way, like chilling and hanging out, and you can enter into the giveaway. It all depends if I have something to actually talk about. I've pretty much prepped this whole thing several weeks ago, so I'm good to go. But we'll be here Thursday either way. So let's find somebody to raid. Oh, hold on, god damn.
Oh,
Let's
credits.
do it.
Credits.
Yeah,
Oh,
damn it.
them credits.
So, always doing our credits. Thank you so much for the support from everybody. Tonight we had some new followers. Fabled42, BRM869, Savriana, and Callie89. Thank you so much for the follow. Our subs and resubs, the Skunk9, Savriana, Bearded Fortress, me, I don't count, and Ballad of Oso. Thank you so much. Don't forget that you can give inspiration and raids from the compound and Lord Nikto right off the bat. Thank you. We appreciate that so much. Skunk9. And let's do how about we raid the Games Tavern? That sounds good.
Sure.
Let's
I
do
like
it.
the name.
The Games Tavern. I have no idea how long they've been going, or if we're going to raid into another raid or the end of a stream, but we're going to do that, and we will see you Tuesday or Monday, hopefully.
Tuesday.
So,
Let's do it.
thank you everybody for hanging out. We will see you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out.
That bummed out.
Yeah, that's how you gotta end it.
That bummed out.
That bummed out.
That exclamation point on it.